What's up, world? What's up, world? Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You are in tune to the KnoItAllz podcast. Of course, you got your player partners here. Big G, what's up, Big G?
What's up? What's up? Happy Father's Day to all the men across America. Happy Father's Day to you all.
And of course, we got my man, my homie, Tate. What's popping, man? What's popping?
What's up, Mom? What's up, Big G? Ready to just, talk some sports, kick it around. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And all, and just happy Sunday to all the KnoItAllz listeners.
Man, Look here. I'm going to tell you guys, we're just ready for a real great show today on the KnoItAllz podcast. But before we get into it, let's get into this. Now, look here, man. Look here. I'm going to tell you something. I have been waiting all week long to discuss this topic that we're about to get into, man. And, of course, it is GOAT Talk. It's GOAT Talk, man. It's GOAT time. If you're unfamiliar with the term GOAT, that's greatest of all times. And we're going to definitely kind of explore this thought pattern with you and yours today on this Father's Day Sunday. And happy Juneteenth, of course. Juneteenth was yesterday, and I'm going to tell you something. I had a great weekend, an awesome weekend. But, man, we're going to hop right into it. Baseball, all-time baseball greats of all time at each position. So, definitely, I could be the one to kick this off, and I think we should go position by position together. Because if not, we read off a whole list. I'm going to have some discrepancies. You're going to have some discrepancies. So let's just go at it together. And I will start off with you, Big G. Big G at center. At center. At catcher, who do we have at catcher for you as far as the all-time greats in baseball as a catcher?
Man, I'm going to start the show off with a little bit of controversy, man. I know that a lot of people is going to feel a lot of ways about my pick, but I'm going with the great Johnny Bench, man, at catcher, man. All-time GOAT, greatest catcher that ever played. He batted .267, 2,048 hits, 389 home runs, 1,376 RBIs. Part of the Big Red Machine, man, the dynasty, man. Johnny Bench.
Okay, so that's fair. And just to put this out here, our benchmark was we had to have seen him with our own eyes play on TV or, definitely in person. So he goes with Johnny Bench.
Can I ask a question? When did Johnny Bench retire? I'm 3 weeks older than Big G, and I didn't use Johnny Bench because I didn't see him.
I seen Johnny Bench play, man.
When did Johnny Bench retire? I'm just asking the question.
I want to say 1978, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 1978 or 1979. But I saw Johnny Bench play because my grandfather took me to 4 Cincinnati Reds games before I turned 5 years old. The first professional sporting events I ever went to was the Reds.
The OG Leonard McGee?
OG Leonard McGee took me to 4 professional baseball games, even before I saw a football game.
So, all right. Say, who you got at catcher, man?
Well, disclaimer, I respect Johnny Bench as the all-time greatest catcher myself, but I didn't pick him because I feel like I didn't see enough of him. I didn't see him. Yeah. I knew I was alive. The Big Red Machine was like from 72 to 76, something like that. They won like 3 World Series. Yeah. But my mental recollection, I didn't have I know Pete Rose, Joe Morgan would be my all-time second baseman if that was the case, but I didn't pick those guys. But my catcher is, in my lifetime, catcher, Mike Piazza.
Yeah. He was a close second for me.
Not a bad pick, man. But you know, after it was just a no-brainer for me at the catcher position. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, you know, 311 home runs, 296 batting average, 1,332 RBIs. He's 97 on that list. You know what I'm saying? He's a Hall of Fame catcher. You know, 14-time All-Star.
He's also a Texas homer in your book, right?
Percentage, a .545 slugging percentage, and his OPS, which is the combination of both of them, is .921. Dude, you can only have 1,000. You know what I'm saying? It's .921. In other words, he's special. When he come up to the plate, he's gonna do it. You know, 672 home runs, 3,000. Man, come on, man, 3,000 hits. What do you want? 2,000 RBIs. What do you want from a first baseman, man? That's it. So what you got? What you got, Tate? Who was your first baseman?
Hey, keep it moving. Albert Pujols was mine too. So you said it all.
Man, I got it. Here we go again. I'm gonna stir it up with another hot take. Pete Rose is the greatest first baseman that ever played baseball. Pete Rose retired in 1981. Pete Rose has a league-leading all-time 4,256 hits. He had 168 home runs, 1,314 RBIs, but had almost 1,000 stolen bases, man. How could you not say the hit leader of all time is the greatest first baseman? But that's just me. That's my list.
You see, as we got rolling across the screen, we got Big G and his hot takes already, man. I mean, we barely even started our list, and we got G with a hot take. Wow.
Hey, G keep going back to seeing people he saw when he was 3 years old, man.
In 81, I wasn't no 3. 81, I was almost 10.
In 81, Pete Rose was washed.
Pete Rose was playing.
He was betting. I'm telling you, he was over there betting on games at that point. You know what I'm saying? And so, Tate, I'll let you start us off on the second baseman, man. Who you got? Greatest second baseman of all time. Who you got?
Greatest second baseman of all time, in my lifetime that I saw, I got to go with my boy, Chicago Cubs, Ryan Sandberg. He career batting average of 314. Looks like he had I know he had an MVP. And even though, you know, he was just the face of the Cubs through the 80s and the 90s. I mean, you know.
Good pick. Yeah. Good pick. What you got, G, man? What you got?
Man, this was the only position I couldn't make a decision. I mean, it was like almost split, man. You know, so I tied with Ryan Sandberg and Joe Morgan. I mean, I actually physically saw Joe Morgan play baseball. I had a signed baseball of Joe Morgan until I lost it between, you know, growing off to college and stuff like that. But he was a dog. But Sandberg for the Cubs, man, he was that thing, man. So I couldn't make a decision. I mean, it was hard.
Joe Morgan was better than Sandberg, but again, I remember seeing Sandberg hit home runs over the Ivy and Wrigley Field and stuff like that.
I attended a Philadelphia Phillies Cincinnati Reds baseball game, and Joe Morgan hit the winning run out to left field. The guy that sat 4 seats down from us gave the ball to me because I was a little kid, and I got Joe Morgan to sign it. I actually lost that ball.
You was a little toddler.
I was like 4 or 5, but I sure remember it.
Look, we just gonna get past it. We're gonna get past G's hot takes, man. We're gonna get past it, you know, another one. But my second base pick, Roberto Alomar, man. You know, he batted 300, you know, another dude with, you know, 1,100 and 34 RBIs, 474 stolen bases, 8-time Gold Glove, man. This guy was real. He was real deal, man. He was real deal. And I had to give it to him. Now, standing in the infield, going to third baseman, I started thinking about it, man, and I came across a lot of them, you know. But Alex Rodriguez, man, A-Rod, you know what I'm saying? He didn't start there at third base. He got moved because, you know, injuries and all of that. But I'm going to tell you something. 14-time All-Star, 3-time AL MVP, two-time Gold Glove. But this is the thing: 696 home runs with a .295 batting average. Dude, what you want from him, man? What you want? I mean, my whole infield's getting hits. We're doing nothing but putting it out in the cheap seats in my infield. Who you got, Tate, man? Who you got?
What position we talking about now?
Third base.
Third base. Oh, I'm just listening to your other Texas hot take. But third base, I got to go with Mike Schmidt, man. Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, man.
286 career batting average. He had a lot of home runs, 548 home runs.
Sure did.
And he had about 10 Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
So, Mike Schmidt with a World Series championship. Mike Schmidt was, again, the face of the Phillies through the 80s.
For sure.
Late 70s, early 80s.
For sure.
What was his batting average again?
267. 267.
286. Yeah, 267 career batting average, yeah.
Wow. But, A-Rod was .295, man. I mean, what you want from him, man? And he hit more homers, 696. I'm just saying. He
also played half his career at shortstop.
For sure.
He actually did.
And the Philadelphia Phillies, I'm going to be a homer and biased. That's my favorite baseball team. Mike Schmidt is one of my favorite baseball players of all time. Mike Schmidt had 2,234 hits. But the one thing about Mike Schmidt, we talking about face of the franchise, he played 17 seasons for the Philadelphia Phillies, never switched, never went to another team, never bailed out trying to win a championship. He did all his work at one squad. So I'm loving Mike Schmidt, man. Loving the pick.
I mean, I'm not going to argue too much, man, because, of course, man, these are all greats. These are all greats that we're mentioning. So, when it comes down to it, I'm not going to argue too much. Now, we got shortstop. And here's where I think everybody is going, have some dealings with me on this one, man. And I hey, I'm sorry, but I like what I like, and I saw what I saw. I got Derek Jeter, man. I definitely have Derek Jeter, and he is 260 home runs with a .310 batting average, 1,311 RBIs, Hall of Fame. But get this, man. Look at this. 14-time All-Star, but 5 Golden Gloves, man. It's just ridiculous, man. I'm going to tell you something. He was a manimal, a man amongst boys, and the face of the Yankees. So what you guys got, man? Who you guys got, Big G? Talk to me.
I got G, man. You ain't no controversy with me. When I looked it up and I ran all the stats, I mean, there's some great ones out there. Don't get me wrong. You got Cal Ripken Jr., you got Ozzie Smith, you got Barry Larkin, man. But it's something about that Jeter, man, that the way he played and carried himself. Not only was Jeter the face of baseball, was the face of the Yankees. Jeter was the face of baseball for a long time, man. So as far as a GOAT shortstop, got to ride with him. Got to ride with Derek Jeter.
Who you got, Tate? Who you got in short?
Man, I respect the Jeter call. I really do. Jeter was a great. He was a great. But I thought about going defense. So, I love the St. Louis Cardinals teams and the Wizard of Oz, and especially in the early to mid 80s. Man, I love the St. Louis teams they had. And Ozzie was the leader of that clubhouse. But I had to go with Cal Ripken Jr. You said Jeter made 10 All-Star games. Cal Ripken made 19 All-Star games.
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen.
He played 2,000. What, like 2,130 consecutive games?
Yes.
Without missing a day of work, man.
It was so
15
hard.
years and missed no work.
It was so hard for me, Tate, because he revitalized the position. He was 6'4". You know what I'm saying? Most people don't realize how tall he was, and his batting average was thorough for a 6'4" guy to be that powerful, to get hits like that. Man, it was hard for me not to go with him. And I had to consult one of my partners on this, man. And my partner told me, he said, he was definitely bringing up Cal Ripken. And, we were arguing for at least about an hour, having a discussion about that same thing. But good pick, Tate. Good pick for real.
So are we just going to do our outfielders as a collective?
Well, yeah, I mean, so here's the deal. We're gonna go ahead and go into right field, man, because definitely I got something I got to say. We have got Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, at right field. I mean, as I was just saying to you guys, man, this man hit 3 different home runs. He hit 3 home runs one game out, 3 different pitches. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Not to mention, I mean, we could pull up his stats: 262, 563 home runs. That's ridiculous. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, who you got at right field, G? Talk to me.
Man, I'm riding. I'm riding. Reggie Jackson, in my opinion, is the single most greatest player of baseball that I've ever seen in my lifetime. So there's no way I could not have him as my GOAT and not have him as the starting right fielder on my all-time team. There's no way. Reggie was the man.
And who we got at right field? Who we got at right field? Talk to me, man.
Come on, man. Now I already know that the other two outfielders we share the same. My beef is with Reggie Jackson. I mean, Reggie Jackson was a monster of a player for the New York Yankees. He earned the name Mr. October for all his performances in the World Series during the late 70s. But for y'all to put Reggie Jackson on the list of GOATs over Barry Bonds is blasphemy. It's absolute blasphemy. Barry Bonds, 14 All-Star appearances, 7 MVPs.
Listen.
And all-time leader in home runs. Come on, man.
Let me say this, and it's just my personal bias.
8 Gold Gloves. Big G, I don't care about your bias, man.
All right, okay.
Blasphemy, bro.
Bias during the steroid. I have hard time putting anybody outside of one player from the steroid era on the list of the greatest of all time.
Can I say this?
I got a hard time doing it.
Barry Bonds never tested positive for any steroids. Now he never tested positive. True. And then we're talking about an era of baseball, like a 15-year period, where all the majority of the players was juicing. Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens, all the great ones was so it was an even playing field then, and this guy still was doing his thing. Barry Bonds had 4 MVPs in Pittsburgh before he even started speculation about steroids.
Man, I just don't think
it's one thing, G. I got to chime in on this, man, and you got to hear me. You got to hear me and hear me well. You can get stronger to where when you put bat to ball, it goes. But you still got to put bat to ball. And hand-eye coordination with Barry Bonds was ridiculous. It was only rivaled, in my perspective, by one other person.
I know who it is.
We're going to talk to him here in just a minute. We're going to talk about him here in just a minute. But, he got the bat through the strike zone and put the ball on the bat better than anybody. Now, them PD, that cream he was rubbing on his arm, I mean, I'm sure, it probably helped. It helped. I mean, but he ain't never proved that it's never been proved that he did it. But we know that, if you look at Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire, their heads were huge like horses. We know they were using something, man. We know they were using something.
I don't know if y'all remember. I think it might have been like 2001, 2002. If y'all remember an outfielder for the Baltimore Orioles, Brady Anderson.
Yeah,
Brady Anderson's career home run high was like 18. And then that season, his breakout season, he had like 48 home runs.
Yeah.
And he never hit that many again. So like that kind of like was the tail sign of the steroid era. Like, man, these dudes just getting that juice in during the offseason,
Right.
Getting it in. And we gonna get past that and we're gonna get to center field, man, which is the gem, the crown jewel of it all. And that's Ken Griffey Jr., man. 13-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove. That's where he made his living to me, man. 10-time Gold Glove. And I mean, 630 home runs, 630.
And Mod played in the steroid era and never got accused ever of juicing nothing. Like, Ken Griffey just was a baller, man.
Just a baller. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, he has that OPS number that I was telling you guys about. Listen at this, man. his on base percentage was .370. His slugging percentage was .538, and then his OPS, which is that combined number together, bro, .907.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when he come up to bat? You pray he strikes out.
Yeah.
You pray he's not getting doubles. You pray he's not hitting it out the stadium. I mean, what do you do? But what you got, Tate? Who you got in center field?
Keep it moving. Ken Griffey Jr., man. That's the greatest defensive center fielder I ever saw, the sweetest swing I've ever saw, the purest baseball player I've ever saw. And that's even over Barry Bonds. And I just told you about all Barry Bonds accolades, but Ken Griffey Jr. just did it for me from a baseball perspective, you know?
Yeah, he's the one who actually got me back into baseball like that. I mean, my Uncle William, happy Father's Day, sir, if you're watching. You know, he was one of the ones that, you know, kind of, had me into baseball because, you know, he's watching the Braves. But, man, Ken Griffey, man, he was like a kid from my time. You know what I'm saying? With the earring, you know.
The hat on backwards.
Yeah, the shoes. I mean, it was like, hey, man.
The Griffey Jr.'s, yeah.
Yeah, it's Ken Griffey Jr., baby. You know what I'm saying? That's the one. But at left fielder, I have the Hall of Famer himself, Ricky Henderson, man. 3,055 hits. You know, stolen bases, bro. 1,406 stolen bases with a .279 batting average. What are you gonna do with it, man? He's getting on the base. Then when he get on it, he's gonna steal it. What you think, guys? What do you guys think?
I got Ricky Henderson too.
Yeah, I'm rolling with
Ricky. I remember in my childhood, I probably was like 9, 10 years old, I think. I'm sure he was playing for the Oakland A's then, but you couldn't stop him on the bases, man. He could steal in the base anytime he wanted to. He could steal a base literally anytime he wanted to.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then with all the other hits he was probably he probably got the most home runs out of a leadoff hitter of all time, I bet. I'm not sure, but I know he's up among the tops for a leadoff hitter.
He's number one all time with 297 home runs, man. He's number one all time leadoff hitter. And on top of, like you talking about stealing the base, Ricky Henderson had 3,055 hits. So out of the 3,055 times he was on base, he stole 1,406 bases. So that means he stole another base half the time he hit it. That's ridiculous, man.
He was thieving. He was out there thieving, man. That's basically what he was doing. He's out there thieving. And, you know, so at pitcher, and this is probably where you guys are going to defer from me. I know it. But at pitcher, man, I got Roger Clemens, man. You know, you call me a homer all you want, but that 4,672 strikeouts, that's third on the list, baby.
Why we call you a homer for Roger Clemens? He didn't play in Texas, did he?
He didn't
play.
No,
he's born and raised in Texas, though.
He's a Texas boy.
He went to the University of Texas.
He's a Longhorn.
Yeah, all right. He was a Longhorn. He didn't play in Texas.
I forgot that.
But he was definitely a Longhorn. And you know, 7-time Cy Young winner. That's remarkable. 7-time Cy Young. And at one point, the most dominating pitcher you could ever face outside of Nolan Ryan. Most dominating pitcher. His fastball was dominating. He got on top of you with it, and there was nothing you could do but cry. That's it.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. I got Roger Clemens too. I mean, he just was that guy for so long. You know, man. For the Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, wherever he went, he was that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always respected Roger Clemens because it was so easy for me to pick him. I just say that I had Pedro Martinez and Randy Johnson in close second. So, but Roger Clemens was that man.
Hey, the big unit was was close, man. Hey, you imagine how tall he was. Big G, how tall was he?
6'10".
Bro. And coming off the mound, coming downhill with you got less than, I mean, the reaction time was less than any other pitcher, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? You got that long to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? What is he throwing? You don't know. And the action off of the ball is very important for a hitter. If you know anything about baseball, the action of a ball is important, and you need to be able to pick it up and pick up the seams. That's why I go back to Barry Bonds. That's why I go back to Ken Griffey Jr., is that these guys' reaction time and how quickly they could get the bat through the actual strike zone was crazy. It was crazy, man. And of course, you know, we know it all because we came up in an era where definitely we watched everything and played everything. But G, you're the last person on this, man. Who do you have as the pitcher here, man?
I'm just a little bit different, man. We already mentioned this guy's name and threw his stats up and everything, man. But Nolan Ryan, man, I mean, you're talking about all-time great at pitching, man. You talking about the face of a no-hitter is when you look it up and you Google no-hitters in baseball, the first name that's going to come up to be talked about is Nolan Ryan, man. So I know he was a Texas Ranger and all whatever else, but even more so, the longevity of the career of Nolan Ryan was ridiculous. So I like Randy Johnson. I like Roger Clemens. I even like Greg Maddux, but I got to give my homage to Nolan Ryan, man.
Greg Maddux was a dog. I mean,
Greg Maddux was a dog. That whole Atlanta pitching staff was a dog. Smokes, Glavine, Maddux,
Maddux, Smokes. Man, hey, listen, man, they were ready. That was my favorite team. That was one of my favorite teams growing up, was the Atlanta Braves. And we got to have a DH, man. And this DH, you know, I couldn't leave him off any list that when we were talking, man, you know, the greatest of the greats of the greats. He probably, had there been no Ken Griffey Jr., this would have been my guy. Another reason why, man, is this guy started playing in 1954, right? You know what I'm saying? He started playing in 1954 and was still playing when I was alive. He retired in 86. Come on, man. We're talking about none other than Hank Aaron with 3,771 hits, 755 home runs with a .305 batting average, man. Oh, yeah. And that OPS number that I was telling y'all about, .928. .928, which is a combination of your slugging percentage and your on-base percentage. I mean, what did he say? If I need a hit, I'm bringing him up. Let's go.
Ma. When you was born, man?
74.
You realize Hank Aaron retired in 76.
76, not 86, excuse me. But still in all, I'm going to use that whole thing that Sean used earlier. It's hey, look, I'm going to tell you the truth. Look, I'm going to use it. If you're going to talk about hitters, man, how can I leave this guy off the list?
Because you wasn't born to see his body of work.
I was born 74. So I was born. He was there. I didn't see him, but I was born. Okay. I was born. I can't leave him off the list.
You're not leaving off the list. We're just saying
can't leave him off the list.
In our lifetime, we respect him as one of the all-time greats, if not the all-time great at that position.
DH, man.
You ain't seen him though.
So who you got as a DH, man? Since you gonna kill my childhood dreams and go ahead and put Hank Aaron out of my list, who you got as a DH?
Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Man, I'm telling you, bro.
The best DH hitter of our lifetime. He played like almost 2,000 games and about 1,800 of them he played at DH. The only time he got put in at first base was against interleague games or in playoff games against National League teams where they tried to get him in the lineup at a position because they didn't have a DH. But he played the majority of his career at DH, and he was an all-time great.
Yeah.
And while you was looking up stats, did you happen to see this? This is what made me so crazy. I agree with Big, but I'll take it. The thing, you know how many times Hank Aaron was an all-star? Blew my mind. Blew my mind.
I got it right here.
I'm just asking you guys. 25.
25 times, yeah.
25-time all-star.
But you know what?
Good God.
He only had one MVP.
But he had 7. Hey, man, look at how many home runs he had. Let's get off of it. Let's get off of it.
Look how many home runs Barry Bonds had and how many MVPs he had. That's all I'm saying. Y'all say Reggie Jackson. No, I'm done. Baseball done. Let's move on.
We're gonna definitely move on, man. And the next sport we got, of course, we're gonna go right into football because I mean, if we get in basketball, we won't get anything else in. And so now we're looking at football at quarterback. I'm gonna have the unpopular opinion here, man. I'm definitely gonna have the unpopular opinion, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Here we go with them hot takes. Here we go.
I'm gonna tell you why I have the unpopular opinion.
Because it's unpopular opinion because it's obviously not going to be Tom Brady then. But go ahead.
It's not going to be Tom Brady, man. You know, the reason why is I started thinking, man, who would I fear the most if I was in a game and that quarterback was against me? Am I going to fear Tom Brady outside of a system that he fits in, or am I going to fear this guy? And this guy I'm going to fear a lot, Joe Montana. 40,551 passing yards, 92.3 passer rating, which is ridiculous. I mean, he got the MVPs. I bet on him all day long, twice on Sundays. I bet on him. Who you guys got? Obviously, it's going to be Tom Brady.
Keep it moving. You right.
TB12 all day and night, man. Come on, man. It's no discussion.
Hey, man,
TB12.
And at running back, I got Barry Sanders, man. I got Barry Sanders for my running back, my GOAT, 15,269 yards, which is fourth, 5.0 yards per carry. But here's the thing that really just, did it with, he had 352 receptions, 8.3 yards per catch. This guy would hurt you running the ball. He'd hurt you out the backfield catching the ball. He was just shifty, man. And here's another number. He played 10 years. He only played 10 years.
Yeah.
The GOAT, man. The GOAT. Who you got, G? Who you got as your GOAT?
It was Barry Sanders, but Walter Payton came in real close. I mean, I had to go back, look at numbers, start comparing, see who did what. I almost gave Walter Payton a nod because his Bears did get a Super Bowl where Barry Sanders didn't, but he wasn't an integral part of the game plan for the 85 Bears Super Bowl team. So as far as the championship game, now maybe in the playoffs or during the regular season, yeah, but I had to give the nod to the great Barry Sanders. A very close friend of our family played for the Detroit Lions during the actual time that Barry Sanders played, and I was fortunate enough to go and witness him and Jerry Ball and Brian Blaze and Chris Spillman and Mel Gray and Herman Moore and all these other greats that played for the Detroit Lions. And I seen him play in person at least 3 times. And every time I seen him play, he did something I never saw anybody else do before. So yeah, of course, Barry Sanders.
I mean, Barry had that disappearing juice. And Lamar Thomas agrees with us too. He said Barry Sanders is the Michael Jordan of football. I mean, literally, Barry Sanders had that disappearing juice, man. He's here one moment and the next minute he's gone, man. What do you think, Tate? Who you got?
Well, I kind of got the same exact take as Big G. Walter Payton was a close second. But, I mean, I just respect everything that Barry did, on the field with his just he really got a lot of yards on a lot of not bad teams, but he didn't have a great line.
He didn't. So not at all.
But Walter Payton, man, Walter just is the epitome of toughness and grit and just, he played for a lot of bad Chicago Bear teams. And he went to an HBCU. And, I mean, man, I hold Walter Payton in high regard. But if we're just talking about sheerly on the field greatness, I got to go with Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, Walter Payton's a 4-tier running back. He's 4-tier. He could block. He could run. You know what I'm saying? He catch passes. And then not only that, he was super smart, man. He was super smart. He could run over you. He could run past you. He had it all. He had it all. He had all the gifts. At wide receiver, at the first wide receiver, look, man, I don't need to give no stats on this at all. I mean, it's Jerry Rice. It's
right.
Jerry Rice.
I think it's not debatable of all 3 of us. Jerry Rice is number 1.
Why do I have to give a stat? It's Jerry Rice. I mean, if there's one thing that sticks out to me, he cooked. I'm talking about absolutely owned my top cornerback of all time. He cooked him. He owned him. He had his baby picture in his back pocket. He only shut him down twice. And that was Deion Sanders. But he cooked him. I mean, there was games where he had 231 yards. Cooked the greatest of all time at wide receiver. Yeah. My second wide receiver, Randy Moss. I got Randy at my 2. Who you got, G? Who you got at your B wide receiver?
Boss toss Randy Moss all day and night, man. Moss, the thing about Randy Moss, and I want everybody to take this into consideration, right? When he first came into the league, he played with the great Chris Carter, man, And then Chris Carter, unfortunately, was forced out of Minnesota and had to go to Miami and finish his career. And he still was considered the number 1 offensive player for his remaining tenure at Minnesota until he was traded to the Raiders. Randy Moss was really the first super freak, unstoppable force wide receiver that the NFL saw. All the modern day WRs are emulating Randy Moss. So I'm talking about all the way today in 2021. When you look at some of the greatest out there, Julio Jones and D Hop and them guys is trying to be like Randy Moss, man. They're trying to be like Randy Moss.
So Lamar Thomas asked, do we agree that Chris Carter had the best hands of all times?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes. Best catching radius,
I think so,
all time of any receiver in the history of football.
Best pure hands, ball coming to you and you plucking it out the air, or that toe drag swag. Chris Carter, that man. He didn't have the speed. He didn't necessarily have the route running.
Better than Larry Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
Better hands, Larry. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald would get up to Chris Carter because Larry Fitzgerald came up as a Minnesota Vikings ball boy. He learned from Chris Carter.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I get it. Not a problem. I get it. So I went with 4 wide receivers because I was going,
Wait, who's your 3? Who's your number 3 though? Who's your 3?
I'm giving you
who's Tate's 2? It don't matter.
Oh, Tate.
I thought you was riding with us.
I thought you was riding with Moss.
Did y'all ask me?
Okay, who's your 3, Tate?
Keep it moving, Randy Moss.
This guy at number 3, I got Megatron, man. I got Megatron at number 3 in my slot on one side, man. I just, it's Megatron. He got a nickname that fits him, and he earned it, bro. Look at this: 731 receptions, 11,619 receiving yards, 15.9 a catch, and 83 touchdowns in 8 years. He did this in 8 years. He made me a believer when the whole Cowboys defensive backfield was back there guarding him, and he still caught it on everybody. You know what I'm saying? He caught it, put the ball down, basically, did a breakdance move and got out the way. I mean, literally, it was bad. It made it look really, really bad. They were playing pitch-up tackle against his little brothers. It was bad, man. So I got to go with Megatron. Who you got, Tate, as your 3rd wide receiver?
I got to go with T.O., man. That's all I'm going to say. T.O.
Oh, wow.
Y'all know his work. Y'all know T.O.'s work. Don't act like you don't know his work. T.O. put it in for a lot of years. He had 20 catches in the game like twice.
Yeah.
I mean, a ridiculous amount of touchdowns. He played on one bad leg in the Super Bowl for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, we talking like just like I gave Barry Sanders over Walter Payton because of the on the field. I'm going sheerly on the field. It's T.O. Put some respect on his name.
You know what, man? He was a Cowboy too, and he did that thing at the Cowboys, man. I got to appreciate him. I got to appreciate T.O. You may have made me change my pick and made me put in T.O. at my 4th. You just may have you may have done that. Who you got, Big G, as your 3rd?
I had Megatron at 3 and T.O. at 4, and it was a hard draw. I'm telling you, the argument went back and forth when I started looking at numbers, on the field performances, on doing this, that, and this. T.O. and Megatron was like, it's hard to separate. It's like splitting hairs, 1A and 1B. So, I mean, I think you can't go wrong with either one of them at 3 or at 4.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. And here's my hot take, man. Here's somebody that, and y'all just moved him out because when I thought about it. But when I thought about this guy, literally, I was saying to myself, had he been across the bay and been in San Francisco, we might be talking about him like we talk about Jerry Rice, man. And that's Tim Brown. Tim Brown was an absolute monster. An absolute monster.
Hot take number two. Hot take number two.
Listen.
Man, is Tim Brown from Texas?
No. He is.
Is he?
Okay. Dallas, he went to high school in Dallas and played college football at Notre Dame. Hey, one of the greatest to ever do it, man. You can say whatever you want to say, man. One of the best route runners, best hands, quickest receiver I've ever seen in my whole entire. I went to the Cowboys. They were actually having training camp here, and they were going against the Raiders. I'll never forget it, man. Never forget it. Watching him run routes, I was like, man, this dude is quick. Like, I mean, lightning quick, and just one of the best route runners I ever seen. So, I mean, definitely, he's my alternate. You pushed him out with the TO thing because you really made me think. You really made me think. So I I'll take it. I'll take that L and I'll insert TO in, man.
I would put Larry Fitzgerald before I put Tim Brown.
Hold on. All right, now y'all just jumping around. Y'all going 5 receivers in. I ain't even gave my 4th yet. Can I get my 4th?
Yeah, who is your 4th?
I respect Megatron, and y'all got Megatron and TO and Jerry. We kind of got the same 4 stuff. Y'all was same 3. Y'all put Megatron in, but this gonna seem like a homer pick. But I want you to just respect his numbers over a 7-8 year period. That's AB. AB put up numbers that only Jerry Rice put up in an 8-year period. And if he didn't, you can do what you want, man. And if he didn't lose his mind and start acting crazy and stuff.
Is this thing on? Let me cut this off.
Look at okay. I challenge you to compare AB's numbers to Megatron's numbers.
Yeah, they're better. They're actually better. Over a 7-year period, 8-year period.
Look, hey, I'm agreeing with Lamar Thomas.
Yeah, Tim Brown, man, stop. No way, man.
Hey, no way. Lamar said, y'all got to give some respect to Marvin Harrison.
I like Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I like it.
I feel like Peyton Manning made a lot of quarterbacks, though. Peyton Manning, like he made, who was opposite Marvin Harrison? Reggie Wayne, right? Reggie Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just some receivers that's great receivers, not taking nothing away from Marvin Harrison, but just like Kurt Warner kind of made Isaac Bruce, and who was the other guy? Remind me of Marvin Harrison.
Torrey Holt.
Yeah, Isaac Bruce reminded me of Marvin Harrison. Yeah, Torrey Holt. Yeah. Like Kurt Warner really made them. Like I put Larry Fitzgerald over those guys, but the number-wise great receivers though. But they didn't put fear in me. Peyton Manning was the one putting fear in people.
Yeah. And even the 3rd and 4th receiver on that team, you know, when you start talking about Anthony Gonzalez was in the slot, Dallas Clark played the slot back, H-back. I mean, everybody was catching 60, 70 balls, 800 to 1,000 yards, man. It was everywhere. Even the running back was catching it. The kid out of Miami, man.
I'm gonna go and get your boy big ups too, man. Before we finish with the wide receivers, Michael Irvin.
Irvin. Yeah, beast.
Top 10. Might not be in my top 4, but top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. He said you just Lamar. Who we just get his autograph from? I'm trying to figure out what you saying. You saying that?
He's talking about Antonio Brown.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I don't got an Antonio Brown autograph. I don't.
Well, look, we're gonna get to tight ends. I'm gonna start with Tate on this one. Tate, who you got best tight end to do it? GOAT in your opinion?
Man, I feel like the hot takes people gonna have is probably gonna be Gronk, but I'm gonna go with Tony Gonzalez, man. Just look at his numbers, look at his Pro Bowls. He did it for Kansas City Chiefs. He did it for Atlanta Falcons. With the Chiefs, I don't even remember who was his quarterback with the Chiefs.
A scrub.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who was it?
A scrub.
I want to say no, it wasn't DeBerg, was it?
No, I think DeBerg was before him. I'm pretty sure DeBerg was before him.
I know Trent Green was there for a little bit before he went to the Rams.
Trent Green got a little bit of clock. You're right.
Yeah, Trent Green was there, but after that, I couldn't tell you.
I can't.
And
It was nondescript. I mean, shoot, somebody I don't even remember. I mean, but let's go. Big G, who you got for tight end?
Listen, I went back and forth. I doubled back. Then I tried to double down to justify my take. And then I had to look at the numbers again, man. And it completely changed what I saw. And I got to roll with Tate with Mr. Gonzalez, man. Mr. Gonzalez is the standard for currently right now NFL tight ends. I mean, when you start talking about there's a kid coming in the league named Kyle Pitts that's going to cause a lot of problems real fast. They are comparing Kyle Pitts, once in a generational talent, to be Tony Gonzalez 2.0.
But from a receiving perspective, Tony Gonzalez has laid that wood on the blocking too, though.
Sure would. Yeah, sure definitely would.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, my tight end that I had was not Tony Gonzalez until last night after I got off the phone with my man Tom. Then it was Tony Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? I had to think about it some more. It was Shannon Sharp before, but it's Tony Gonzalez. It had to be. I mean, because he totally revitalized the position. He made basketball players at that position popular.
Man, Shannon Sharp isn't great, but I got Gronk over Shannon Sharp. I got Ozzie Newsome over Shannon Sharp. I got quite a few tight ends over Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is a great, not the GOAT.
He's a great. So now for these, I realized that there's really no stats to kind of quantify them, but you have to look at the era they played in. You have to look at the running backs that they helped. I mean, so when we're talking about the trenches, the trenches can get kind of murky, but definitely I'm going to start. And, of course, y'all going to hit me with this. Oh, here you go. Repping the star. Here you go. I hear it already. But
I bet he got 3 Dallas Cowboy offensive linemen. 3 of them.
That's ridiculous.
Actually, I only got 2. I actually got 2. But I'm gonna start at the center of the line, which is the best player to me. And that best player actually belongs to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dermontti Dawson is my best center, who I will put on the line all day, every day. Hold it. He owned the 90s.
Hold it. 2 diehard Steeler fans sitting right here in the room. That's our team. And Dermontti Dawson ain't our best center. Our best center that ever put on the black and gold is Mr. Mike Webster. That ever played.
But we talk about our lifetime, and I agree with Bob. I got Dermontti Dawson too.
But wait a minute, Tate Webster played all the way to 82. You wasn't repping the Steelers in 82?
Nah, man.
What?
Are you sure?
I got pictures.
I remember seeing those. I remember seeing those great Steeler teams, Steel Curtain teams and stuff. But so I remember Mean Joe Green, Leon Swan, all of them. Yeah, but in my understanding of football and blocking and what they doing, I got to go with Dermontti Dawson. Yeah, you can say Mike Webb was a Hall of Famer, and I was alive when he played, but I didn't watch him like that.
Okay, yeah, I feel you.
Dermontti Dawson owned the 90s. At center, he owned the 90s. So I'm gonna go to guard. Big Larry Allen. Give me a name that's better. Give me a name at guard that did more than Larry Allen. He was on all Madden teams. He was Mr. Pancake himself. And plus he bench pressed like 700 pounds. Talk to me, man. Talk to me nice. Tell me somebody who's better than Larry Allen at guard. Who you got, G?
No disagreement. I mean, as far as the left guard or the right guard, Larry Allen's going to be on my list as far as playing guard. I got somebody else at the other guard, but I agree. Larry Allen, no disagreement.
Who you got, Tate? Who you got at guard?
Keep it one guard. Larry Allen was a GOAT. Larry Allen's one of mine.
Bad. And then at the next guard, I don't know if y'all going to get with me on this one, but I got to go with Will Shields, Kansas City Chiefs. That's my second guard right there, man. Who you got, Big G?
I roll with Will Shields, but there was another guy that I remember him just at the very end because I remember the Raiders teams in the late 70s and early 80s that was real good. And there was a guy named Gene Upshaw that played for the Raiders, man. That was knocking cats clean out for the Raiders. So, you know, Gene Upshaw was a dog. I like Will Shields. I mean, he blocked for a couple of good, really good or great running backs for Kansas City. But Gene Upshaw was that thing, man. You know.
Okay. Who you got, Tate? Who's your second guard?
I'm gonna hit y'all with a little bit of Homerism again. I'm gonna go with my other guard. Gonna be David DeCastro, man, Pittsburgh Steelers. Dude's been in the league since 2012 and have made 9 Pro Bowls. He's anchored the line up until recently, maybe 3 years ago, one of the best lines of football with Marquise Pouncey. And like I said, I mean, he's number 24 pick out of Stanford, and I got to go with David DeCastro.
So let me ask this to contestant the tape, man. It was Al Finneker better than David DeCastro? That's just a question.
I don't think so. Finneker going to the Pro Bowl. I mean, Hall of Fame, though. I mean,
yes, he is. Yeah. Yes, he is.
But yes, I think as a Steeler, DeCastro done passed him by, and he gonna get his flowers when it's time.
Okay.
So, you know, I like the fact that you picked a current player because at my right tackle, I have to definitely go with a current player, and that is my man, Tyron Smith, at my at one tackle.
No way.
Dominating the position. What? Tyron Smith dominates at his position and has been dominating at his position for years now. So I'm going with Tyron Smith.
Is Tyron Smith better than Eric Williams was?
Yeah. Okay. Eric Williams was nice, but Tyron Smith is better. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Who you got, Tate? Boy?
I got to go with my boy from our rivals, Cincinnati Bengals, Anthony Munoz.
All day and night. The GOAT, the greatest left tackle that ever played right tackle that ever played football in the history of football.
That's definitely my next tackle. And who y'all got for your second tackle? Who you got for your second tackle, G?
Man, I mean, listen, let me explain this, man. How could you have a GOAT list of all time of offensive linemen? Now, you got Anthony Munoz, but how can you leave Joe Thomas off that list? How in the world can you leave? Listen, I'm a diehard Steeler. Joe Thomas, go look at his stats. Just pull his stats up and look, and you're going to be in shock.
You might have just did like we did with T.O. You might have bumped my next tackle off because I wasn't thinking Joe Thomas. You might have bumped him.
You might have bumped Munoz right on up. Go ahead. Who you got, Tate?
No, not Munoz, not for me, but you might have
bumped Tyron Smith. I can't go away from
him. Man, Joe Thomas killing Tyron Smith.
Yeah. Joe Thomas, man. Joe Thomas will probably
go down. You think Joe Thomas would have held up?
Yes.
You think Joe Thomas would have held up against the Minister of Defense?
All day and night.
Man, he played for 12 years and made 12 Pro Bowls.
Correct.
I mean,
Joe Thomas.
I don't think he ever missed a start either.
Never, ever missed a start. Ever.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Take your last tackle, man.
I got converted. I wasn't thinking Joe Thomas. I'm going Joe Thomas. I had my boy Orlando Pace in there.
I had him
Hall
up there.
Famer. Big Pace is up there.
Yeah, I had him up there.
But I gotta go with Joe Thomas, man.
Got to.
Yeah. So at your first cornerback position, I got Deion Primetime Sanders at cornerback.
Keep it moving.
Who y'all got for the first corner?
Keep it moving because you agree?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's go.
I agree. Keep it going.
At my second cornerback, I got Charles Woodson. I had Charles Woodson at my second corner. Tate, who you got at your second corner, man?
You got the wrong Woodson, bro.
That's right, bro.
Wrong Woodson, bro.
That's right.
Rob Woodson, man.
That's right.
Rob Woodson. Rob Woodson's the best all-around corner to ever lace him up.
Correct.
Deion the best cover corner. Rob Woodson the best total corner.
Listen, Rod Woodson not only played cornerback, but for 7 seasons played safety. in the NFL and made the Pro Bowl. 5 of the 7 seasons at safety.
I thought that was Nate Newton that was pushing them keys.
No, it was Nate. It was Nate. And Larry Allen would have been on this list. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Larry Allen, he's a dog. He'd have been on this list even if he would have been.
Lamar went to school at Central State with Eric Williams. Eric Williams was a bully on campus.
Sure was.
It was what it was. But look, so I actually had in my nickel package, I won't disagree, because I had 3 cornerbacks, and in my nickel package was Rob Woodson. You know what I'm saying? Who was y'all's third cornerback? Give me the third cornerback that you guys got.
My third corner is Darryl Green.
Ooh, good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah, that was my pick as well. I had Darryl Green as my third corner.
So all 3 corners and 3 corners, give them to me. Your 3 corners, Tate.
Deion Sanders, Rob Wilson, Darryl Green.
Yep. Give me yours.
Same.
Only difference, I had Rob Woodson. So we're pretty much the same there. At free safety, Ed Reed. Who's better? I don't need to give stats. We got anybody better?
Yep.
Anybody?
Yep.
Who you got at free safety, Sean?
42 for the San Francisco 49ers, Mr. Ronnie James Lott. The best safety to ever play football, period.
Didn't he play strong?
He played free.
I still wouldn't. Better than Ed Reed?
Ronnie James Lott. Number 42 for the San Francisco 49ers. When Ronnie Lott played so hard, he lost his finger, and they laced it up in the game, and he kept playing, bro. He lost part of his finger in the game, like it came off. They taped him up, strapped him up, and he kept playing.
I mean, he tough.
He was a free safety. He was a free safety. I just checked.
Ronnie,
you know. Sometimes you got to fact check Big G. He right about this one.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you the truth. He couldn't catch a cold in the snowstorm barefooted. So I mean, to me, look at how many interceptions did he have? You know what I'm saying? Ed Reed, he
63 interceptions.
How many?
63.
He's the
how many did Ed Reed have?
Keep talking. I think
Ronnie Lott is the all-time interceptions leader. You need to look that up, bro.
I don't know interception.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and just go on and put it out there. Let me just say,
Ed Reed has 64. Got Ronnie Lott by 1.
Yeah,
okay,
listen,
by 1.
Listen.
But when you're looking at the total package, Ronnie Lott was bringing the noise. Ronnie Lott was part of 4 Super Bowl teams.
Yes.
Ronnie Lott was the last throwback safety that we truly had.
I'll give you that.
Ronnie Lott was the guy that made wide receivers call an 8 route a bang 8. Because if you went across the middle on an 8 route, he was going to separate you from the ball at all costs. Even if he was going to die, he was going to separate you from the ball. Listen.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Tawana said that Ronnie Lott was a brick wall. Absolutely. Lamar said he's top free safety of all time.
There you go.
Let me help y'all with something. I have to admit this. KnoItAllz podcast and all my listeners. I gotta admit it. It hurts me. It hurts me to admit it. Jerry Rice is the only Joe Montana, only San Francisco 49ers that I would ever acknowledge. I can't stand them to my heart, even since the catch with Dwight Clark. I can't stand them. It's bias. This is where I'm gonna tell you I have bias. I want all the bad things to happen to the San Francisco 49ers and only the San Francisco. and the New York Football Giants. San Francisco and New York, I have an honest bias and a real hate.
You talking about you talked about Dwight Clark and the catch. You made me think of another great corner. That was Everson Walls.
Everson Walls. Beast.
Yeah,
you hear me? Beast. I mean, a beast. Shutdown, lockdown. All right, man. So we're gonna get past this, man. And then for my strong safety, I had Troy Polamalu. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it moving.
I love Troy, man. For weak side linebacker, man, because I had a hard time because a lot of these guys flip-flop and play different positions. So I just named 3 linebackers. My middle is true at his position, and we're just going to start with him, and that's Ray Lewis.
Keep it moving.
Greatest middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Outside linebacker, again, Lawrence Taylor, LT, the greatest. When you say LT, you mean Lawrence Taylor. That's what that is.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. And then my third linebacker, I had to go with Derek Thomas, man. I had to go with Derek Thomas.
With me. Push the plate because
Derek
Thomas, man, was the man. He was the.
Who you got, Tate? I see your face, man. Tell me who you got.
Nah. I mean, I didn't even think about Derek Thomas, but I gotta agree.
Yeah, DT, man, he was a killer. He roamed over there like a shark, man. And when he was coming, he was Jaws on that side. And of course, on my defensive line, man, I'm gonna go ahead with my 2 techniques, which is my defensive tackles. I'm gonna start with Warren Sapp, one of the greatest to ever do it. Definitely, I can't get away from that, man. Lamar Thomas said that it's a true story. He was down there punking cats at Central State. It's a true story. Yeah, man. So what y'all think at defensive tackle? We got Warren Sapp first. Agree or disagree? What you got, Tate? Who you have of your first defensive tackle?
I like Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp is one, but I mean, I'm gonna go a little bit further back, man. I like John Randall from the Minnesota Vikings.
Well,
he was kind of. Well, I ain't gonna say the next name because the next name is currently playing. Y'all know who that is.
Me too. Yeah. We might well say it because we all agree on it. And
John Randall was Aaron Donald style before Aaron Donald.
Yeah. So we agree on Aaron Donald. I just have Warren Sapp. Sean, who else did you add for your defensive tackle?
Warren Sapp and Aaron Donald. That was my top picks. Aaron Donald is the only dude pushing the rock outside of Brady, TB12, that's on the list right now playing. Larry Fitzgerald is not currently in the league. He's a top 4 receiver to me, but TB12 and Aaron Donald, game changers.
And I looked this stat up, man. I had to go ahead and look this up, man, because this was really – defensive end was a hard thing for me. First name, easy. I'm sure we all agree on it. The Minister of Defense, Reggie White, monster. Right. We all agree there. The second name is Bruce Smith.
Got to be.
Bruce Smith,
ain't nothing to talk about.
200 sacks. And later in his career became a monster against the run. I mean, what do you want to do with him? Like, who else did you have, Tate? Who did you have?
Nah, I mean, I got Reggie White and Bruce Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have put a prime Richard Dent in there. Remember Richard Dent, Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
He got a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
There were 2 guys that stood on my list, you guys. 2 guys that I was just looking at and my head was busting off when I started looking at their numbers. One, I think he's already a Hall of Famer, but I think because of his injuries, he won't reach the height that he would have. And that person is J.J. Watt. He's freaking
one for injuries.
Unbelievable. You hear me? Freaking unbelievable. I mean, he had, oh my God, he's got 2 interceptions. Both of them went back for a touchdown. He has 4 seasons where he had 2 seasons he had 20 plus sacks. The other he had 17 and 16. Just unbelievable, man. Like the stuff that he does is crazy. I could go back. I was looking at the numbers last night and my mind was just boggled because I'm like, if he gets 2 more 10 plus season sacks, do you think this guy is first ballot Hall of Famer, or do you think he's first ballot Hall of Famer right now?
He's first ballot right now. He's first ballot Hall of Famer right now.
You don't win 3 defensive MVPs and not be a first ballot.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Second name, Michael Strahan.
Oh, yeah.
I started thinking about Michael last night. I hate the New York Football Giants, but when I tell you that he was a problem, he was a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way a problem. Definitely a problem.
Yeah.
Right. So we're past that. And then we're basketball. We only got 5. And basketball, this is going to be the argument. But, hey, I just want you to know, we got 5 players at position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to read mine off. Then definitely y'all can go off on yours. First 5. Basketball, point guard, Magic Johnson. 2 guard, Michael Jordan. 3, LeBron James. The big fundamental, Tim Duncan. And in the middle, Akeem, the Dream, Olajuwon. It's on you, Tate.
Same 4. I'm just replacing the Dream with Shaq. Shaq's the most dominant force to ever play basketball. So, ain't no wagging that. And I think Dream is probably the most polished, far as a move perspective and finesse from the center position. But on my team, I'm going with brute force and brute power. I got to go with Shaq.
All right, and who you got, G?
Same 4, except I changed the center as well. But I put the great Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in at number 5. Nobody dominated basketball more than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for a longer period. And I think that all 3 of us at center, we can't go wrong with switching out Hakeem, Kareem, or Shaquille. I mean, those are 3 of the probably top 10 players of all time. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, for my money, yeah. Most unstoppable shot in the history of basketball. Skyhook. I
respect that. I just saw Kareem on his decline. Not that his decline was bad. Yeah. Now, if I had a song when he first left UCLA's Milwaukee Buck years, and them early years with the Lakers, which I did get to see in the early years, but by that time, Magic was the man on that team.
I remember my first pro basketball game that I ever locked down to watch was the 1979-1980 NBA Finals, where Julius Erving was playing for the 76ers and Kareem was playing for the Lakers. And that that blew me away. This is pre-Magic. So, but then, Magic come in 81, but man, an 80-81 season. But that 79 Kareem, man, he banged him. Well, he was
Magic rookie season was 79-80, wasn't it?
79-80, yeah. But matter of fact,
he played center because Kareem was hurt.
Yeah, he got 46 in the championship game.
Definitely.
46.
Definitely. 2 things, you guys, and then, we're right here at the cusp of things. First game of this series, the Suns win 120-114.
They won?
The Suns won. Final score 120-114. Devin Booker had 40 points. DeAndre Ayton had 20. Let's see here. Bridges had 14. Crowder had 13. Payne had 11, and Johnson had 12. On the other side, I'm tell you guys something. We can no longer make fun of Paul George. Paul George is off limits. Paul George had 34 points today, 34.5 assists. And this Reggie Jackson kid, man, he is balling. He had 24. He had 24 today. But look, without Chris Paul, they went out and they got it done. What you guys think about this game, man? I know Big G thought it was a trap game, but Tate, what'd you think about it?
I think Phoenix only gonna get better. I mean, they proved it today without Chris Paul. I like them in 5.
Yeah.
You like them in 5?
Yeah.
They ain't got the brooms out, huh?
Nah, it's gonna be close because LA gonna come back with a vengeance, in my opinion, game 2. But I don't see if they couldn't beat him without Chris Paul, what they gonna do when Paul gets in.
And Kawhi's out he's out for good.
They're not saying, but I think he is. Mm-hmm. He didn't travel to Phoenix, so he won't play game 2, even if he's coming back.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys, man, it's been great. I think the G.O.A.T Talk was awesome, man.
Hold on, two more things, really fast. Prediction tonight, Philly Atlanta game. Just pick a team. No analysis.
Atlanta.
76ers.
76ers here too. And then to close it out, it don't have to be any of the sports we talked about. The 3 greatest athletes of your time. We're gonna close it with that.
Any sport.
Okay. Mine, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods.
Okay. I got Usain Bolt, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. Sandy Bolt, man.
This Joker picked Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, leave Muhammad Ali off the list.
Yeah, it's Sonny Bolt. It's Sonny Bolt, man.
Bo Jackson, Muhammad Ali, LeBron James.
That's a good one. Okay. Well, hey, do your thing, Ma, whatever you're going to do.
Hey, man, definitely, you guys. Look at this, man. If you enjoyed the podcast today, make sure you like and subscribe. And we are here for you and yours. And as always, man, it's the Know It All podcast where you can come and hear us talk about everything because we know it all, man. We out. Peace.